Turn me up a little bit.
Yeah, kid, all I'm on the rise.
Yeah. Turn me up a little bit more.
We like it. Yeah, kid,
I like that.
all I'm on the rise.
This is the remix.
And you don't want no problem with this guy.
Let's go.
I've been around. I've been around the world. I've been around.
We like it.
I've been around.
We ain't gonna stop.
Around the world. I've been
We don't even know how to stop.
I've been around the world.
Now trick what they shoot. That ain't what mates do. Got a lot of girls that'll love to replace you. Tell it to your face, boo, not behind your back. Cash talk slick, we never mind that. Funny, never find that. Puff dime sacks, right? Hot stuff that make people say rewind that. People know you go against the Harlem Gigolo. Get liquor low, make the girl trick your dough. I represent honeys with money, fly guys and gents. Ride with the tents, that be 35%. So I lay, so I look both ways. Cop says okay, my tent smoke gray. No way, people leave without handing me my chips. Got plans to get my land and my six. People out of town don't understand these hits. Pop champagne like I won a championship.
I've been around. Where you been? I've been around the world. I've been around. Where you been? I've been around the world. I've been around. Where you been? I've been around the world.
Yeah.
Stop playing.
Yeah. I was a one-bedroomer, dreaming of a million. Now I'm in beach houses, cream to the ceiling. I was a gentleman living in tenements. Now I'm swimming in all the women that be tens. Went from bad boy to the crushed liniments. Now my dividends be the new Benjamins. Chicks of all complexions, I like cinnamon. Make sure you got some girls with Playboy cinnamon. Come on, what you waiting for? Let the freak show begin. How they came in a truck?
Nah, Puff, that's a Benz.
Mercedes, come here, baby. You don't like it where it's hot and hazy, never shady. You must be crazy. It's ridiculous how they put their lips on this. Don't kiss right there, girlfriend, I'm ticklish. And I be switching V's with a wrist full of cheese. Play it, please. I'm the macaroni with the cheese. Yeah.
I've been around the world. I've been around. Where you been? I've been around the world. I've been around. Where you been? I've been around the world.
Let's stop playing.
Come around.
What? You don't know who the hell I be?
Can tell I be.
Now hasta la vista.
Say la vie.
Now what have we? A cat in a Bentley waggy that keep cat shaggy. Roll with P Daddy.
Some be wanting to bag me, girls be wanting to stab me. I be more than gladly to tell a folk, yo, you ain't offending me.
It ain't like you the third son of the Kennedy, or even in the mall where you can send for me.
But all this really talk, you don't never spend a G. I know how it be.
You know me from B4 when I used to detour down to B more. Push the E or
Days I just kick it. My crew buys crystal just so we can spit it. All the expensive stuff just so we can shit it.
and be a lot of places that you niggas can't visit. Don't talk it cause I live it. Yeah, what?
Come on.
Yeah, what?
I've been around. Where you been? I've been around the world. I've been around. Where you been? I've been around the world.
Let's stop playing.
I've been around. I've been around the world. I've been around.
Where you been?
I've been around the world. I've been around.
Where you been?
I've been around the world.
This is the remix.
I've been around.
9-8.
Where you been?
We out here forever.
Let's stop
No, we
playing.
won't stop. We don't even know how to stop. That's the law. Come on.
Where you been?
I've been around the world. I've been
Big
around.
Nas.
Where you been?
Hit me, baby.
Around the world. I've been
Big
around.
Hall.
Where you been?
I've been around the world.
Let's stop playing.
I've been around.
Harlem on the
I've
rise.
been around the world.
Problem with these guys.
I've been around.
LOX.
I've been around the world. I've been around.
Where you been?
I've been around the
Justin.
world. I've been
I see.
around.
Where you been?
Quincy.
I've been around the world.
Let's stop playing.
I've been around. I've been around the world. I've been around.
Where you been?
I've been around the world. I've been around.
Where you been?
I've been around the world. I've been around.
Where you been?
I've been around the world.
Let's stop
I've
playing.
been around.
Yeah,
I've been around the world.
It's not a game. You don't keep on putting it on your ass.
I've
Welcome to the Roy Cheetah Project. It's Roy Cheetah Boy, and we're back from war to Goku the Wildfire. Let's get right into it. Up until this point, we're kind of on the Goku Expressway. That being the case, we've taken a beat it straight, direct route, more or less, through Goku's history, not necessarily stopping at every point and getting into all the things that are at every single event. But now we completely have to stop. Now we have to stop. Now we have to get out. We have to take pictures. We have to buy stuff. We have to do the whole bit because FRIEZA. The F in FRIEZA stands for fuck. FRIEZA is the greatest fuck of all time. And if Goku was potentially the greatest superhero of all time, then I don't think across from him you can have anybody that's too far off of that. Now, FRIEZA is an idiot. And I don't think FRIEZA ranks very high in villainhood just off of his character alone. I just think the moment that they're in makes him really, really good and makes him bolsters him more than he really is. And I appreciate that because this moment is big. This moment is big for both of them. We're gonna get into that. If you separate FRIEZA from the enormity of that the event was itself, just analyze FRIEZA as an individual. FRIEZA sucks. FRIEZA sucks. FRIEZA's a good villain. FRIEZA's a good villain because obviously FRIEZA's like the Joker of the series, right? FRIEZA's just completely dirtbagger. She doesn't have the aristocratic nature of Cell. He's not really calculating like Sensui or Shishio or Cell. FRIEZA's just outright savage, outright dirtbag. And you need that kind of villain to pop up every once in a while, right? So he's kind of like the Joker of the series, but then again, he's not anywhere close on the Joker's level because Frieza is just a little kid. Frieza's just a little brat that happens to be super duper powerful, right? And that's all he really ends up being. Frieza doesn't end up having anything more to him than just that. And even though Frieza's super powerful, I consider him one of the greatest villains of all time because of who he's connected with, not because of who he is innately. That's different from Shishio. That's different from Sensui. That's different from Sephiroth, I would say. That's different from a whole bunch of other villains. And who's your greatest villain of all time? I mean, if mine personally is Shishio, but Frieza's up there just because of who he's connected with in the moment that he's in. In this moment. And I'm going to say this a lot, but I mean this, but I'm open for commentary on this. This moment is probably the greatest event in all anime history because of so many things that sprung from this event. The Goku fight is the pinnacle, in my opinion, of all anime. The Goku Frieza fight is the pinnacle of all anime because up until this point, there are so many transformations and so much character development. And obviously we have one big transformation, right, that pretty much puts everything in motion. I don't know how many transformations and how many big events I don't know how many potent animes you have if this doesn't happen. Honestly, let's talk about that. I know I'm a Dragon Ball Z fanboy, but the timing that this all came out really has to make you think, well, if this doesn't occur, contextually or not, fictionally or not, what happens going forward as far as other anime is concerned, and the ideas of transformations and the certain ideas of the character development that's happened up to this point. And that's what, and not even just that, the animation, like all of it seems really good to me, but now, looking back, now that we are, and where we are now, you can say, oh, the animation's not this, and plot hole this, and plot hole this. This fight ran 5 hours, blah, 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 blah. You can come back and nitpick it all day, and that's fine, but looking at it, the context as it is, in my opinion, it's still the greatest event. It's the pinnacle of events in all anime, and I don't think a lot of animes are as big as they are or as effective as they are without this moment. And that's what makes Frieza who he is. Other than that, Frieza ain't shit. We're going to get into that. Frieza's trash. But, and everybody's on Dragon Ball Super's dick, and I'm not about that at all because Dragon Ball Super does not have the flavor that this fight and everything up until it has, and even everything after this fight has. This fight was such a turning point for all anime that there's nothing that Dragon Ball Super can do to compare to this, and it only gets better from here. This is not even the best moments of Dragon Ball Z. Obviously, this is Goku's greatest moment, but there's a whole lot of more good moments to come. And I know we don't talk about the Buu saga, because I'm not incorporating the Buu saga in all this, because I feel like the Buu saga took away from all that we got as well. It kind of poo-pooed on seasons 1 through 6 in my opinion. But now that Super's a thing, Dragon Ball, the Buu saga don't look nearly as bad as it used to. And there are some great moments in the Buu saga. So let's just get this out of the way. I mean, you got Mystic Gohan, Beast, the second fight between Goku and Vegeta, obviously Beast. Everybody loves Majin Vegeta. Majin Vegeta is okay. I think he's really overrated, but still, that's still a really good fight. The animation in the Buu saga, and obviously you have what you consider one of the greatest fights in anime history too, is Super Saiyan 3 Goku versus Kid Buu, right? Obviously you can put that up there. Obviously, so the Buu saga does have its moments, but I mean nothing compares to me if you haven't picked it up already from season 1 to 6, from Dragon Ball to the season 6 of Dragon Ball Z. Nothing really compares to me. There's no way Super can compare to any, can hold a candle to any of that stuff. The Buu saga is something different now, but the Buu saga is not as good as that stuff either. But it still holds. The Buu saga still does hold quite a bit of value. Let's talk about the Kaioken for a second before we get into the. I'm not trying to spend too much time on the Frieza fight because we can stay in this spot for a long time, like at a theme park. You can spend all day at a theme park, but be in one spot and not see everything else, or lose your whole time. And then I'm not trying to do that. But let's talk about the Kaioken for a second. There was an interesting poll that I saw on the internet that asked what was Goku's most effective Kaioken, and I think some of the options were the Kaioken versus Vegeta, obviously the Kaioken versus Frieza. I'm not gonna consider the super option, and then there was like, I think there was like one or two more, but I believe personally that even though the Kaioken did help him against Vegeta, I don't think it was the thing that really got that job done. He had help. Vegeta, like I said, Vegeta got jumped. Vegeta took that Kamehameha, even though it was a Super Kaioken powered Kamehameha that Goku wasn't even supposed to really do. And even after that, Goku body was trash. Goku was out of that fight. Vegeta ate that. He came back. So, and Vegeta ate a Spirit Bomb too. So it wasn't any of those things that he learned from King Ka that got him through the Vegeta fight. It was his homies that got him through the Vegeta fight. And even though the Kaioken was effective in setting the stage, and ultimately indirectly not, allowing Vegeta to not get what he wanted, still it wasn't directly what made that fight what it was. So in that perspective, the Kaioken really wasn't that effective. And I think against Vegeta, I think Vegeta ate a Kaioken punch or two too. So it was like Vegeta was on a whole different level. Vegeta's crazy, but against Frieza, the Kaioken takes on a whole different thing. Obviously, the Kaioken's powered up by the capsule training, right? And his body is at a certain level, Saiyan or otherwise, that he can handle the pressure that the Kaioken puts on the body, and then he can increase the output even further. All that makes sense, right? And even though the Kaioken wasn't particularly effective offensively against Frieza, because Frieza's just retarded. His power level is just retarded, right? But still, defensively, I think the Kaioken was there for Goku to really keep him alive and keep him surviving in that fight. I think if you take the Kaioken away from Goku at that point, Goku doesn't last nearly as long as he does against Frieza. And obviously, Frieza was fucking around. That's gonna be Frieza's ultimate folly, but still, I'm sure Frieza hit pretty hard, and without the Kaioken, I think that those damages would have accumulated to be more devastating than than the Kaioken, because it's not really stated what the Kaioken does defensively. We know what it does for him on the offensive side, but obviously there's some kind of defensive benefits too. Obviously, if you look at the Frieza episodes when Frieza is turning Goku into putty, in the pudding, that's when we really see the Kaioken being in my opinion, being more useful than it's been up to this point, because it kept the boy alive, and plus, Goku was all choked up under the water as well. The Kaioken got him out of that situation, and so the Kaioken just bought time. It bought time in this instance, and against the Frieza fight, against Vegeta in the Vegeta fight, it wasn't the thing that really tipped the scales, in my opinion. It helped, but it wasn't the thing that really got Vegeta to go back home. That was the squad. It was the squad, and the squad wasn't around when Frieza was getting all in that ass. All Goku had was the Kaioken and the Spirit Bomb in his training. That's all he had. He didn't have the homies. He didn't have Yajirobe and Gohan and Krillin and whoever else the fuck. So I believe that the most effective form of the Kaioken that happens definitely through season 1 through 6 is, the fight against Frieza. But this fight takes on a really dark nature, and things kind of take a left turn when it comes to Dragon Ball Z from this point on. And as we already said, for the better, not even just for the better of Dragon Ball Z itself, but for the better of anime going forward as a whole. In my opinion, I could be wrong on that. Let me know. Hit me up on the comments. But I believe that without this fight, obviously you don't get the greatest superhero of all time, and you don't get arguably the greatest single moment of all time. Even the pinnacle of this moment, right? Microbially, is the Super Saiyan transformation. And as we said before, there's Goku and there's Super Saiyan Goku. Those are kind of two different things. And without the engine that he built in the capsule, we don't get the Super Saiyan transformation. But a lot of things have to go right for the Super Saiyan transformation to happen as well too. Vegeta goes down, Piccolo goes down, Krillin goes down, Captain Ginyu. We have a lot of things that happen, but I don't think that the Super Saiyan transformation should be held up as so much different than the man himself. It's just a like we said before, just a few more modifications to the engine, a few more performance parts of the engine that he's already developed. And Frieza's just stupid. Frieza's just a fucking idiot. And there's no way that any of this should have happened. It's kind of like when, Matt Ryan let Tom Brady do him. It's just like there was no way. There was no way that should have happened. But then you have Super Saiyan Goku, and that's the epitome of all of Frieza's worst nightmares. But Frieza allowed that to happen. Frieza allowed that being to happen because Frieza's just an immature little ass kid with a crazy power set. That's all he is. He's not Cell. He's not Sensui. He's not Shishio. He's Frieza, and Frieza fucking sucks. He deserves everything he got, not because he's evil, just because he's an idiot. He's an evil idiot. So, but to Frieza's credit as a villain, he's probably one of the most evil villains. Just like vindictive and just like super in his feelings. Shishio had a certain bit of an attachment and sensibility to him. And to a certain extent, Cell did too. Frieza was just so vile and undercut and in his feelings and bratty and he's like the kid on the playground that would just come over and kick over your blocks or kick your sandcastle down or whatever you and your homeboy was working on, whatever imaginary thing you and your homeboy was working on. He's the kid that would come over and just mess it up just for the fuck of it, just so he can laugh and go on and about his day. That what made that kid's day. Is making sure everybody else had a bad time. You know, that's FRIEZA. So in that respect, FRIEZA is one of the greatest villains of all time. But I think it's by proxy only because of the moment he represents. And you know, in the light versus dark that they set up, man, this was set up perfectly. I mean, we can give Dragon Ball Z all the shit we want about plot holes and things like that, especially when it comes to the Android saga and the Namek saga and the Frieza fight. But for anime going forward, you can't refute this, and to me it still holds so much weight, so much water. You know, but then you get Super Saiyan Goku, which is a whole different thing. In Super Saiyan Goku, you know, we'll get into that. I think we spoke enough on this particular episode, so we're gonna push forward, and yeah, let's make it happen. And thank you so much to World Cheater Project. That's a wrap on this particular Goku. Hopefully you've been enjoying things so far, and we will definitely see you next time. Rosary Life all day, if that's your flex, and road work all day. And, you know, take care of yourselves, work on your engines, and then we'll see you for more Goku and for more whatever that's coming up on the project. Sub if you haven't. Twitter Life all day. Podcast, iTunes, Stitcher. You know what it is. The World Cheater Project, World Cheater Boy. Thank you so much. Have a good day.